Hello and welcome back to another video. I'm going to try my hand at another different style of video, which is reviewing. I've never taken the time to publicly review poetry before, so I'm a little bit nervous myself. I want to be very careful with what I say and do here because I always have tremendous amounts of respect for anybody that is willing to share their work and their soul publicly. I'm sure I stumble over my words in every single video. If ever I have anything bad to say, I always protect the identity of the poet, but obviously with this scenario I can't do that because I'm reviewing a very particular collection of poetry. So I am going to be very, very considerate with my words, and I am so damn conflicted with this collection. So let's get into it. So the collection that I'm going to be reviewing is The Life of a Mogul, or The Life of a Wannabe Mogul by Bella Thorne. I really am digging the cover, and I really like the back one as well. I don't know if she drew this herself or if this is done by an artist. It probably says in here somewhere cover by. But yeah, I'm really digging the cover. Bella Thorne has always been a person that intrigues me. Well, no, not always. Her time on Disney Channel was a bit after my time. But I think she did have I know she had a Disney show, but I never followed that. But her personality and character has always intrigued me from the moment that I knew about her. Before reading this collection, I thought we had a lot in common. But so honest and raw are the pages of these books that actually I realise we don't have a lot in common at all. But I do see a kindred spirit in there somewhere still. I genuinely was blown away by the honesty and emotion that is in this collection, and I cannot applaud her enough for it, but I will get onto that in a bit more detail in a minute. As I said before, I commend people that share their work and heart so publicly, and Bella has gone above and beyond in this. But there are a few things that niggle at me, and I will do my best to express that as respectfully as I can. What really stood out for me was the rawness, expression, and just pure emotion. I recently complained that a lot of modern poetry is lacking in all those departments, but Bella really breaks the mold with this and really genuinely opens up to us. She said in the past that the first draft of her poetry and all her other writing ventures is the heart of the writing. The first draft is the heart, and I completely agree with that. I subscribe to that notion too, and I found it in my writing. However, with that being said, that is also this collection's downfall, and I feel the same about my two collections, Ramblings and Blue Streak. I think when you subscribe to that notion that the first draft is the best and most heartfelt, that you end up neglecting editing, which I think is mine and Bella's downfall, and this collection's downfall, and you end up with page fillers such as this. Come out every day to play, to celebrate our movements from day to day. Welcome to our community, the community that lies deep away, counting down the love we share day to day. And also, life's a big dump, just flush it. Don't forget to use toilet paper because it could make your arse sore. And there's also a poem in here. I don't know how many poems I can say. I don't know much about copyright. I think for educational purposes it's okay. There's a poem here, and it's just filled with love, 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 love in black and red ink. Hate, hate. A couple of swear words that I won't say, just in case I get monetized one of these days. And that's all it is. And then she raised me with this love. I love you. And my issue with this is that I think there's some really strong emotions here. A lot of people will just look at it and think maybe it's a bit of nonsense, but I can genuinely look at this page and think, oh, there's a lot of emotion. And what frustrates me about this is that I can tell that there's so much, just looking at this page, there's so much pent up emotion that if Bella had taken the time to figure out how to craft a poem out of this, trying to be respectful, crafted something out of this, I think it could have been a really powerful poem. And that's why I think you have to be careful when you subscribe to the notion that the first draft is the most heartfelt, because I think if this had gone through some editing and a bit more thought, you know, a page of just scrambled words could have become something really powerful. With that being said, Bella Thorne really knocks it out the park when she sits down and takes the time to just kind of unleash how she's feeling. There is a letter here to her mother that just kind of blew me away. I won't read it because it's really long, but definitely get this collection and take a read. I'll also read another poem that kind of, I was like, wow. Just so it's not just me chucking out things that I don't like. So here's a poem that I thought, wow, is really great. I screamed so hard today, I thought my throat would collapse. I felt my whole body come to this head, this point that every cell in my body was telling my brain to crack, or maybe freeze, or maybe a malfunction. My whole body, everything inside me just stopped and let go. Letting go into these wretched screams, these blood-curdling screams. I cracked, I broke, in every sense of the words. I lost my shit. So now I have to go pick my shit up off the walls. Excuse me. That was a terrible reading, and I'm only... yeah, that was a terrible reading because I'm going to get onto formatting in a minute. But basically there's some spelling mistakes which I kind of tripped over because I was making sure I said the right word. But yeah, if you can get this book and read it yourself and you'll see what I mean. Which brings me very nicely onto formatting, which I am struggling so hard with because on the one hand, I really dig what Bella's done, but on the other, it just kind of doesn't work for me. So all the poems in this are scanned straight from the typewriter with crumpled paper creases and everything. It feels like you're literally picking up these poems off of Bella's bedroom floor and she sits at the typewriter typing away and discarding and moving on to the next poem. But there is one thing I absolutely cannot stand about modern poetry, I don't know why it's a thing, are things like this. Now, you've got 1, 2, 3, you've got 4 lines there, and then just a lot of paper, a lot of blank paper. Then you turn the page, and you've got 2 lines, and then the rest is just blank paper. And it really frustrates me because we do not have infinite resources, people. And you think how many thousands of copies this has probably sold. And it's just such a waste of paper. And I don't know why people do it. It's just one of my pet peeves, I guess. And I probably sound like a crazy man, but I think as self-publishing poets and traditional publishing houses, we need to take more responsibility for the paper that we use up and the ink that we use, or lack of ink, should I say. Also regarding formatting, Bella has said that she wanted this collection to just be totally raw and unedited and just completely her, which I respect massively and relate to creatively too, because I tried to do the same thing with Ramblings and Blue Streak. But as you've seen, as I tried to read out that poem, it does result in things being hard to take in and hard to read, with all the sort of spelling mistakes and lines through things. There is another page that I marked off because I kind of turned the page, saw that and thought, I'm not even going to try to read that. And I literally just turned the page. I know it sounds terrible, but let me cut to the page. So the page looked like that, and I kind of just saw it and thought, I'm not even going to try to tackle that. And I think, and again, it's such a conflicting thing because I think that's really cool. I think that's a really cool artistic choice. But as a reader, I literally just saw the page, saw all the mistakes and cut-throughs and thought I'm not even going to try. So I think that is a downfall for the collection, but I think it's a really cool artistic choice at the same time. It depends kind of where you stand, I guess, whether you just want an easy, pleasurable read or if you kind of want to experience the artist. There are so many what the fuck moments in this collection, and I think that Bella would thrive off that. I think that's the kind of person she is. But for example, there's a poem in here called My Special Friend Kyra. Kick-ass, euphoric, relentless, addictive. That's it. Also, this page that says mod son equals husband, and just a picture of a ring. Also, this, I genuinely have no idea why this is in this collection. It's the cover page of a script, and that's it. If anyone's got has read this collection and has an interpretation of that, genuinely let me know, because I don't know why it's in here at all. And there were so many pages like that left me thinking, why am I reading this? But having watched Bella talk about this book and listened to her reading some of the pieces from this book, it was always a pleasure to fight on and keep reading until I found one of the pieces where she genuinely sat down and just released herself. And that blew me away. That kept me reading. And that's something I've recently learned about my own writing. I think Bella and I set out on the same journey with our collections, and there is no doubt that Bella Thorne is a naturally gifted artist who can easily express herself. And if she was ever to do a second collection, I would love to see her sit down and take her time with every single page and craft poems, because I genuinely think that she would just blow us all away and just wipe the floor with her poems. Because she is so unashamedly herself and so giving of herself to us, that I think she has the potential to be a brilliant poet. Unfortunately for this particular collection, there were just too many poems that just seemed rushed or had no meaning to them whatsoever, or at the very least was an inside joke that I just couldn't make any interpretation out of, which really sucks. This collection does have so much raw emotion and expression to it that I would recommend it to anyone, just so that they can understand what I mean when I say to be a poet, the most important thing is to express and have heart. Bella clearly has a lot to give, and I really hope that something inside her clicks, like it has me, that will make her sit down and really craft out poems, because I think that she will literally wipe the floor. My name's Adam Gary, and I'll see you next week.
Bye.